Hey guys, it's me from the future. Well, not your future, but... Okay, it's Friday. It is 3:30, so this is going to be uploaded in a few hours. But I've been talking to a few people and I've been thinking about it. So this video that's going up, that you're about to see, is a story that doesn't just involve me. And I kind of need to talk about why I'm posting it, because I was talking to the guy called Sean in this video, and he was like, I don't really see why you need to upload this, it's not really important. But to me, this moment, this event, was a big turning point for me. I lost a lot. I lost friends, I lost a lot of reputation, it changed how I was viewed. And it also changed how I view people and how I trust people as well. So this video is very important to me. And telling stories which have morals and messages is what I want to do. And stories like this are very important because there is a message at the end of this. I believe that this story, it shows a lack of punishment. There's lack of justice, that's the word. It also, don't trust anyone. Don't be so trusting. That's kind of what I am. But it's more of, I'm not telling this story to start drama. That's the main thing. I'm doing it because I believe it needs to be told, and it's a very important... I'm just going to lock my door. It's a very important story for that reason. Now, I'm not doing this as kind of a hate or like to drag Chris through the dirt. I'm doing this because, he broke my heart basically. We were best friends and then he just cut me off one day. And then he completely ignored me at Emily's party. But it's not just that, because I don't hate him, and even if he was talking shit about me, I would forgive him because he helped me through a lot in my life, and there's nothing he could do that would upset me that much. So this is kind of, hashtag justice for Chris, because the people who hurt him weren't punished. They didn't get what they deserved. And also, this is my channel. This was a very, very big thing. This is a very big thing that happened to me and changed the course of, how I am now. So, as it's my channel, I'm going to talk about it because I want to kind of be open and do it a lot, because this is 5 videos in, but this has already helped me a lot with coping with stress and because I'm quite a creative person naturally, and I want to make films in the future. That's kind of why I started this channel, but I can't just make films all the time. So doing YouTube has really helped, and I want this to kind of be my portfolio. So being open is very important for that. Also, I kind of seemed a bit down and ill in the first, I was ill the whole video, but I kind of seemed down in the first part of this video, and that's because I was ill, so my energy was really, really low. And it's also kind of nervous being by yourself talking to a camera, because it's like all the eyes are on me. Whereas if I'm with Emily or Gabby or Anna, if I'm, not making a joke, they are. It's very that. This wasn't like that. It was all by myself, which is scary. So I was a little bit nervous, but I warmed up towards the end. And if you do stay towards the end of the video, there is a message, and it is an important story to tell, because I learned a lot from it, and so did everyone else involved, I believe, I hope. So I was a little bit down, and I was also down because this was a very hard time in my life, and it's kind of hard to talk about. So I was a little bit down towards the end, but when I realised, this is what I want to do, I want to tell stories and stuff, I warmed up to it. I just was food shopping, because I'm a good Christian boy. And as I was leaving the supermarket, this young girl, had a toy phone, and she was asking her mum to buy her something, and her mum was like, no, come on, let's go shopping. And the little girl picked up the phone and was like, hello, and started talking to the phone, and then turned to her mum and went, he says you should buy it. Genius. Actual genius. Oh, I love the kids of our generation. I'm also in a car park in the woods because I needed to be by myself when I recorded this. I've just been listening to September by Taylor Swift, and it kind of made me think about this video. A lot of people are saying it's not the best idea to do, but hey, when do I ever do as I'm told? Well, enjoy. It is a good story. It's a really interesting story, but yeah, stick around. I'm not doing this to start beef. I'm doing this because it's an important part of my life and this is my channel. So, enjoy. Okay, energy. What's up, guys? Hello. So, I've got a story time for you today. It's my first video by myself, which is weird. Like, I'm a month in and I've never just been by myself. Oh, I really tried to film this video once, but I was not feeling too good and the energy was a bit low. We don't want that. So, I'm trying again. I'm still feeling 100%, but hey, energy. So, this story is about the time that I was catfished online and it became a police case, like the police got involved. It started when I was in year 9, so 13-year-old me was a hopeless romantic like I am now, and would always look to be dating someone because I always, and I still do, define myself by who I'm dating. So one day I was using Kick Messenger, which was our Snapchat back in the day. I got a message from this girl added me. Her name was Emily Greenwood. I remember that. I had a friend at the time, let's call him Louis. Louis had messaged me about this girl saying, oh yeah, that's like my second cousin, she's great, she's a little bit older than us, she was 15. She was kicked out of her house by her mum because she was a slut, I think. So she was living with her aunt. So it's a very like dramatic story, but me being me, I was drawn to like the victim, you know, because I wanted to fix people, and I still do, I guess. So yeah, so Lou was like, oh yeah, you should speak to her. And I was like, okay, fine. She lives like ages away, but I didn't mind, just as long as someone was showing me affection. So we kept messaging back and forward, and then like within like 2 days, I asked her to be my girlfriend, and she said yes. So I was like, okay, amazing. So at the time, I'd say I had 2 really close friends. So we had fake names, Chris and Sean. And Chris was my absolute #1 best friend in the entire world. And actually, the reason I'm making this video is because I was at Emily's 18th birthday party, and Chris was there, and he was my absolute best friend for 4 years, and he just completely blanked me and pretended I didn't exist. Yeah, so, I mean, we were dating for like a week or so, and I was like, wow, this is getting really serious. So I'm going to introduce you to my 2 closest friends. So I introduced her through Kick to Chris and Sean. And Sean is a really good judge of character, and we're still friends to this day, and he's great. So immediately he kind of was a bit off about the whole situation, but was like, look, as long as you're happy, like, fine, go for it. Chris would talk to her a lot, like worrying amounts. But I was like, oh, you know what? She's obviously going to be loyal to me, so there's no need to worry, and he's my best friend, he wouldn't do anything. So a few days pass, and Chris kind of pulls me, Sean, and the rest of our group aside, and is like, guys, I have something to tell you. And I was like, oh fuck, he's gone and like slept with my girlfriend or whatever. And he was like, no, I'm gay. And we were like, what the fuck? Even though I kind of knew, because he'd already asked me out twice. But it's kind of like, until someone says it, it's, so we were like, oh wow, we're so happy for you. And Chris was quite a depressed person, just all the time, just always. But after he came out to our group, he didn't stop smiling for days, like he was unbelievably happy. And so, you know, a few days pass, and I get a message from Emily. We were just talking, and she just out of the blue was like, do you want to see a video? And I was like, what? And so she told me that Chris had sent her lots of videos because she was teaching him how to be gay. Like how to like suck a dick, how to take dick, I don't really know. So he'd sent her a series of videos and photos of him naked. And one of them was Chris using a hairbrush to anally satisfy himself. What the fuck? That's like to my girlfriend. I don't know. Nowadays, if someone sent news to someone's girlfriend, no matter what, I think that'd be pretty fucked. But I was like, oh no. But I wasn't angry. I was never angry at Chris. It was just like, what the fuck? That's kind of weird. So then Chris kind of went offline, and as it turns out, Emily had sent this video to Louis, who had then shown it to a load of people, and it kind of went viral around our school, and everyone knew about it. It had been spread around a lot, but it got made worse when the like annoying, oh my god, I hate him with every inch of my being. Let's call him Tim. He's the gay one in the year, like the really gay one. He got hold of the video, because of course he did, and he went on a ski trip with the school and decided to show it to everyone. So we went away on half-term break, I believe. Was it just a weekend? So I kind of didn't hear, no, it was a weekend. So I didn't hear from Chris for over the weekend. So we go back to school on the Monday and everyone's talking about it. And because me and Chris were like so close, we were like, everyone knew us as like the best friends. Everyone were coming up to me and like kind of giving me shit, like what's going on, like messy Monday interviews were happening left, right and centre, you know? So then I think he missed the first day, but then when he first came in, he had like dyed his hair black and he was fully like, he didn't speak to anyone and he ate his lunch like in the bathroom. This happened for like weeks. But me being the stupid 13-year-old I was, I cared a lot about my reputation, so I didn't speak to him for a while because I couldn't face being the best friend of the hairbrush kid. Like, for some reason I cared about that, which I feel like such an idiot for. But then we noticed that Louis wasn't in school either, and he never came back. And we were like, oh okay, teachers stopped like reading his name out on the register and stuff. So of course rumours start circulating because, you know, it's the biggest talk of the school that's happened in a long time. So yeah, Louis hadn't come back and we were really confused because we were like, what? Where did Louis go? And so we all kind of started it, like cogs started to turn in our brains. We knew what was happening. But there were a lot of theories about who Emily was and what happened. I never found out because, I mean, the police started coming into school a lot and interviewing all of us. And then, we get taken into the deputy head's office who was in charge of like welfare, and there'd be police there and we'd have to have interviews, and I'd miss a lot of lessons because I was in police interviews, which was kind of annoying, but I loved it at the time because I was like, oh, I get to leave lessons, like, oh, look at me, I'm special. But really it was just kind of, I can't imagine how it was fucking with Chris. But yeah, I had police interviews, I had like one every day for a while, and I'd have to write statements and I had to give in my phone, but because I'd never seen the videos, I didn't have to give in anything else. So yeah, the police kept coming to school, and almost every day you'd see like a police car outside of school, and we'd have countless assemblies on like, you know, don't send nudes. So I never really got any closure on this case, but Tim would always be like, oh yeah, I went to court and I saw Louis get convicted and he's in jail now. And I was like, what the fuck? You know he didn't, because I have friends who are his friends at his new school. Like, shut the fuck up, Tim. Such an attention-seeking little... So a few years later, I got back in touch with Louis because he was a good friend of mine, and I was like, oh, I want to be friends because I don't know what happened. And Louis was a tad drunk one night, and he was sending a few inappropriate things, and he asked me if I could send one back, but he asked for if I could wear women's underwear, which is like an oddly specific request, you know, and kind of a bit peculiar. So I was like, no thanks, I'm Gucci. But it kind of made me remember something which Sean had told me. So back in the days of Emily Greenwood, Emily would speak to Sean and say, hey, can you send me some nudes, but can you please wear women's underwear? So I was like, that's such an oddly specific request. They're probably the same person. So that was my kind of closure. about what happened, because to me there's no other option. Of course it was Louis, because, oh my god, it's slanted. Oh no. Hello? How do I get a camera to work? Oh, being a YouTuber is hard. Oh, now there's wood in the frame, and not the good kind. Oh my god, everything. But there were no real repercussions on anyone involved. But really, Tim should definitely have gotten in a lot more trouble than he did for distribution of child pornography. And so should have Louis. Like, it's kind of gross that they didn't. Like, it turned into a police case, but after we handed in our phones and stuff, we just never heard back from it. So it's worrying that stuff like that can go unnoticed, because this is literally like a child pornography case, and they didn't care enough to like actually solve anything. Just like as a conclusion, I guess, I stayed on at school, the same school, as did Sean. Me and Sean are still at the same school, but I mean, no, we're still really good friends to this day. Like, I would consider him one of my closest friends in the entire world, which is great. But Tim said he was going to a fashion college in London, but to my great pleasure, I found out he just goes to like a really shitty local college. Like, yes, Queen, like, well done, you're doing great for yourself, sweetie. Chris, I do worry about him sometimes, but also not really, because he was talking shit about me. He goes to a college now, and he was apparently, allegedly, he was telling people that I was Tim in that story, so I distributed it. Like, I told everyone, which I never did, and that's kind of gross that he would say that. So, dick. Louis is, I have no idea where Louis is actually. I think he's just out somewhere getting drunk. Oh, I'm 100% gonna get called into the deputy head's office because of this video, but like, also fuck that, because this is a story that happened to me, and it's a little bit intense, but not as intense as my stalker story, which will be coming soon. I don't know if I seem low energy today. It's I've always said I'm a completely different person when I'm around other people. Like, when it's just me by myself, I'm like a very mellow, like very low energy person, like anything goes really. But when I'm like around other people, I'm like turn up to an 11. Like, so yeah, so basically to summarize, don't send nudes when you're 13. Don't talk to random strangers online who is a second cousin of a friend of yours, because it's probably the friend just trying to fucking eat your ass or whatever. Oh, well, thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, then honestly, well done. This was also to kind of clear up a lot, because people at my school don't really know what happened. See you next week. I'll call you later. Oh, what? That doesn't make any sense. I meant, I'll see you later. I mean, I'll call you later if you want.